It is sweltering hot inside the dubbing room. The air conditioning is turned off because the microphones are too sensitive. The air smells of stale cigarettes and sweat. A man stands in the dark, watching himself on the screen. He is 32 years old. His body is a masterpiece of anatomy, 0% body fat, muscles like steel cables, moving with a speed that cameras can barely capture. But inside that steel frame, something is snapping. Bruce Lee steps away from the microphone. He feels a wave of heat rush to his brain. It's not a headache. It feels like a hammer strike from the inside of his skull. He walks to the bathroom. He splashes water on his face, but the water doesn't help. The room begins to spin. The invincible dragon drops to his knees. He starts to shake violently. He vomits. His eyes roll back. Staff members rush in. They find the strongest man in the world curled up on the dirty tile floor, convulsing like a frightened child. They rush him to the hospital. Doctors drill into his skull to relieve the pressure. His brain has swollen like a sponge. He survives. But when he wakes up, his eyes are filled with a terror that no opponent had ever caused. He whispers to his wife, "I almost died. The demon came for me." He didn't know it then, but this was just a rehearsal. The demon was just testing the lock. It would be back in 2 months to finish the job. The world remembers Bruce Lee as a poster on a bedroom wall. The guy in the yellow jumpsuit. The guy with the nunchucks. The guy who could kill you with a 1-inch punch. We see him as a superhero. A kinetic machine of violence and charisma. But the truth is a paradox. The man who played the fearless warrior was actually terrified of water. He couldn't swim. The man who preached, "Be water," my friend, was a rigid perfectionist who electrocuted his own muscles to train them while he slept. The man who became the symbol of Chinese pride was actually 1/4 German and was often rejected by traditional kung fu masters as a mixed-blood mongrel. We worship the fighter, but we ignore the philosopher. We ignore the man who wrote poetry, who studied Jiddu Krishnamurti, and who designed his own tombstone years before he died. He wasn't a god. He was a man running a race against a finish line that only he could see. This video is not about kung fu. It is not a compilation of fight scenes. This is a story about destiny. In Chinese culture, there is a belief that if you fly too high, you offend the gods. Bruce Lee didn't just fly. He soared. He kicked down the Sick Man of Asia sign and forced Hollywood to its knees. But there was a price. His family believed in a curse that targeted the males of the Lee clan, a curse that said they would die young if they became famous. Our thesis today is haunting. Bruce Lee wasn't murdered by the Triads. He wasn't poisoned by a jealous lover. He was consumed by his own fire. He built a body that was superhuman, but he forgot that the human heart has a limit. He tried to fight the curse with sheer will, but in the end, the dragon burned up in the atmosphere. And tragically, he wouldn't be the last Lee to fall to this dark legacy. Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. The year is 1940, San Francisco. The year of the dragon, the hour of the dragon. In a Chinese hospital, a baby boy is born, but his parents are scared. They had lost a son before. They believe evil spirits are hunting their male heirs. So, they do something strange. They give him a girl's name to trick the demons. They call him Siphon Small Phoenix. They pierce one of his ears. They dress him in skirts. They are trying to hide him from the darkness. But you cannot hide a dragon. This boy will grow up to bridge the East and the West. He will change cinema, change martial arts, and change the way Asian men are seen forever. But the spirits are watching, and they are patient. Let's turn the page to Chapter 1. Act 1. The Hidden Child. To understand the dragon, you have to forget the legend. You have to look at the delinquent. Hong Kong, 1,950 seconds. A city of refugees, poverty, and British colonial rule. Bruce Lee wasn't a monk praying in a temple. He was a punk. By day, he was a child star, Little Dragon, appearing in melodramatic movies where he played the sensitive orphan. But by night, he was the leader of a street gang called the Tigers of Junction Street. He wore traditional Chinese silk clothes, slicked his hair back like Elvis, and carried a chain in his pocket. Why? Because he was angry. He was mixed race. His mother was half German. In the brutal hierarchy of Hong Kong, the British looked down on him for being Chinese, and the Chinese looked down on him for being a foreign devil. He didn't belong anywhere. So, he fought everywhere. He fought on rooftops. He fought in alleyways. He fought to prove he existed. He wasn't fighting for honor. He was fighting because he had too much fire inside a body that didn't know how to cool down. Here is the most fascinating contradiction of his life. At the same time he was breaking noses in the street, Bruce Lee was the Crown Colony Cha-Cha champion of Hong Kong. Think about that. The man who could kill you with a kick was also a master of ballroom dancing. He would go to the dance hall, move with absolute grace and rhythm, sweating in a suit. Then, he would walk outside, take off the jacket, and beat up a rival gang member. This was the seed of his martial arts philosophy. Rhythm. He realized that fighting wasn't just about brute strength. It was a dance. It was about weight transfer, timing, and flow. He went to the legendary master Ip Man to learn Wing Chun. But Bruce was a bad student. He was impatient. He asked too many questions. He wanted to mix the cha-cha footwork with the Wing Chun punches. The traditional masters hated it. They told him to stop polluting the art. But Bruce didn't care about tradition. He cared about what worked. April 1959. The incident that changed everything. Bruce gets into a fight on a rooftop. But this time, It isn't just a scrap. He beats the son of a feared Triad family. He hurts the boy bad. The police knock on the Lee family door. They tell his father, "We can't protect your son anymore." The Triads have put a contract on his life. Bruce is 18 years old. His father, Lee Hoi-chuen, makes a heartbreaking decision. To save his son, he has to banish him. Imagine the scene. A rainy dock in Hong Kong. Bruce stands there with a single suitcase. His father hands him $100. That is all he has. His mother cries. She thinks she will never see him again. The curse of the male heir seems to be coming true. He is being forced out of his home. He boards the steamship President Wilson, bound for San Francisco. As the ship pulls away, Bruce watches the lights of Hong Kong fade into the fog. He is no longer a movie star. He is no longer a gang leader. He is just another immigrant in the bottom class of a boat, vomiting from seasickness. To make money on the long voyage, he teaches the first-class passengers how to dance the cha-cha. Look at him, dancing on a moving ocean, smiling for tips, while inside, he is terrified. He is heading to a country where he knows no one, with nothing but his hands and his rhythm. Why was this exile the best thing that ever happened to him? Because it forced him to empty his cup. In Hong Kong, Bruce was full of ego, full of reputation, full of anger. If he had stayed, he would have become a gangster or a corpse. By being thrown into America with nothing, he was forced to reset. He worked as a waiter in Seattle. He lived in a tiny room above a restaurant. He washed dishes. The little dragon was scrubbing grease off plates. This humility broke him down and rebuilt him. The lesson here is profound. You cannot learn something new if you think you are already a master. Bruce Lee realized that to survive in America, he couldn't just be Chinese. He couldn't just be a fighter. He had to become water. He had to adapt to the container he was poured into. He started teaching Kung Fu to Americans black, white, brown. He broke the ancient rule that said, "Don't teach the foreigners." Why? Because he realized that knowledge, like water, becomes stagnant if it doesn't flow. He was poor. He was lonely. But for the first time in his life, he was free. By the late 1960s, Bruce Lee was making noise in Hollywood. He played Kato in The Green Hornet. He stole the show. He was faster than the camera. But he hit a wall. A white wall. He pitched a show called The Warrior. It was about a Shaolin monk roaming the American West. The studio executives loved the idea, but they hated the lead actor. They looked at Bruce and said, "An Asian man with a heavy accent." The American audience isn't ready for that. They stole his idea. They renamed it Kung Fu. And they cast David Carradine, a white man who knew zero martial arts, to play the Chinese monk. Bruce was furious. He was the best fighter in the world, yet he was being told he wasn't enough. His ego was bruised. He became obsessed. He started training harder, lifting heavier, pushing his body to the absolute limit. He wanted to build a physique so undeniable that Hollywood would have no choice but to bow down. He didn't know that by pushing his body past the red line, he was driving straight off a cliff. August 13, 1970. A sunny morning in his backyard in Los Angeles. Bruce is angry. He is frustrated with Hollywood. He decides to punish his muscles. He loads a barbell with 125 pounds, his own body weight. He prepares to do a good morning exercise. It's a dangerous move, where you bend forward at the waist with the weight on your neck. He doesn't warm up. He is the dragon. He doesn't need to warm up. He bends down, and then, snap. A sound like a dry branch breaking inside a quiet forest. Bruce drops the weight. He falls to the grass. The pain is not like a punch. It is white-hot electricity shooting down his legs. He tries to stand up, but his legs don't obey. The doctors give him the verdict. It is a death sentence for a martial artist. They tell him, "Mr. Lee, you have severely damaged your fourth sacral nerve. You will never kick again. You will never do kung fu again. You might not even walk normally again." The man who defined himself by movement was now a statue. For 6 months, Bruce Lee lay in bed, flat on his back, staring at the ceiling. This was the abyss. He had $50 left in the bank. He had 2 children. His wife, Linda, was working to put food on the table. Imagine the humiliation. The strongest man in the world couldn't even put on his own socks. The depression hit him harder than any opponent. He talked about the curse. He thought the demons had finally caught up with him. He thought his life was over at 30. He wrote letters to friends saying, "I have lost the only thing I had, my body." Painkillers numbed his mind. Despair numbed his heart. He was drowning in a sea of self-pity. But then, something shifted. As he lay there, unable to move his legs, he realized his mind was still free. If he couldn't train his body, he would train his mind. He asked Linda to bring him books. Philosophy, psychology, anatomy, war strategy. He read thousands of books. He took notes. And in that bed of pain, Jeet Kune Do was truly born. Before the injury, he was just a fighter. During the injury, he became a philosopher. He wrote, "Walk on." Just 2 words on the back of his business card. Walk on. He realized that the injury wasn't a stop sign. It was a detour. He visualized his back healing. He meditated on the pain. He stopped fighting the river and started floating with it. 6 months later, he stood up. He walked. Then he ran. Then he kicked. He didn't just recover. He evolved. His kicks were faster because he had stripped away the unnecessary tension. He returned to Hong Kong not as a broken man, but as a weapon that had been forged in fire. Why was the broken back the most important moment of his life? Because it destroyed his hubris. Bruce Lee was arrogant. He thought he was invincible. The universe had to break his back to show him he was mortal. The lesson here is powerful. Your greatest tragedy can be your greatest teacher. If Bruce hadn't broken his back, he would have remained a physical brawler. The injury forced him to go inward. It forced him to write the Tao of Jeet Kune Do, the book that would inspire millions long after he died. He proved that resilience isn't about bouncing back to who you were before. It's about building something new from the pieces. He learned that you are not your body. You are the will that commands the body. But as he rose from the ashes, ready to conquer the world with a big boss, he didn't realize that the fire he had ignited was now burning too hot. He was about to enter the game of death, and this time, there would be no extra lives. After healing his back, Bruce returned to Hong Kong. And he didn't just return, he exploded. The big boss, Fist of Fury, Way of the Dragon. 3 movies, 3 earthquakes. Overnight, the street rat became a messiah. In cinemas across Asia, people stood on their seats and screamed when Bruce defeated the Japanese oppressors or the Western bullies. He wasn't just an actor. He was Chinese pride made flesh. But the crown was heavy. Bruce became a prisoner of his own fame. He couldn't walk down the street. He was challenged to fights every day. And the pressure to be superhuman began to eat him alive. He stopped sleeping. He lost weight. His face became gaunt. He was vibrating with nervous energy. He told his friends, "I am running a race, and I can't stop until I cross the finish line." He was training while he brushed his teeth. He was writing scripts while he ate. He was a candle burning at both ends, right in the middle of a windstorm. 1973. The call finally came. Warner Brothers. Hollywood wanted him back. They wanted to make Enter the Dragon, the first co-production between Hollywood and Hong Kong. This was the bridge Bruce had spent his whole life trying to build. But his body was failing him. On set, he was a skeleton, wrapped in wire. He was suffering from intense headaches. He was dehydrated. There is a scene where Bruce fights a cobra, a real, venomous cobra. The handler told him the snake had been defanged. It was a lie. During the take, the cobra struck. It bit Bruce. Bruce didn't cut the scene. He finished the take. He trapped the snake. He looked at his hand, bleeding, and simply said, "Let's go again." This was the dragon in his final form. He was in agony, barely holding on to consciousness. Yet he delivered a performance of absolute power. He was fighting for something bigger than a paycheck. He was fighting to erase the stereotype of the weak Asian man forever. He knew he was dying, and he wanted to leave a ghost so strong that no one could ever ignore it. July 20, 1973. A hot, humid day in Hong Kong. Bruce is at the apartment of actress Betty Ting Pei. They are discussing the script for Game of Death. He complains of a headache, a sharp pain behind his eyes, the same pain he felt in May. He takes a pill, an Equigesic, a common painkiller. He lies down for a nap. "I'll just close my eyes for a moment," he says. The sun goes down. The producer, Raymond Chow, arrives to wake him up for dinner. He shakes Bruce. No response. He slaps Bruce. No response. The dragon is cold. At 32 years old, Bruce Lee slipped away in his sleep. No final battle. No explosion. Just silence. The autopsy said cerebral edema, swelling of the brain, an allergic reaction to the painkiller. Heat stroke. Or the accumulated toll of a life lived at 100 miles per hour. The world couldn't believe it. Enter The Dragon premiered 1 month later. Bruce became a global icon, the biggest star on Earth, but he was watching it from the other side. But the story didn't end there. The curse had one more debt to collect. 20 years later, 1993, his son, Brandon Lee. Brandon was on the cusp of stardom, filming The Crow. In a freak accident that defies all logic, a prop gun fired a real bullet. Brandon died at 28, even younger than his father. Father and son, buried side by side in Seattle. Two dragons who flew too close to the sun. It leaves us wondering, was it just bad luck? Or is there a price for changing the world? So, what is the legacy of Bruce Lee? It isn't the movies. Movies age. Special effects get better. His legacy is freedom of expression. Bruce Lee taught us to break the structures that hold us back. He broke the structure of traditional kung fu to create Jeet Kune Do. He broke the structure of Hollywood racism to become a lead actor. He broke the structure of his own broken body to walk again. He taught us the ultimate lesson of success. Success is not a destination. It is a flow. Be water, my friend. Water can flow, or it can crash. But water never dies. It just changes form. Bruce Lee didn't die. He just changed form. He became the spirit of every underdog who refuses to quit. He became the fire in the belly of every kid who is told they aren't enough. He proved that you don't need a long life to have a great life. You just need to be real. We have traveled a short but blazing path with the little dragon. From the street fights on the rooftops of Hong Kong, to the hospital bed in Los Angeles, and finally to the eternal screen of history. If we look back at the tapestry of his life, a complete philosophy emerges. It is the philosophy of the fluid warrior. First, his exile to America taught us the power of humility. Bruce Lee taught us to empty your cup. He showed us that you cannot grow if you are clinging to old traditions or old egos. To learn, you must first unlearn. Second, his devastating back injury taught us the art of resilience. He didn't deny his pain. He studied it. He turned his prison cell into a library. He taught us that when life breaks you, it is simply creating a new opening for the light to get in. And finally, his race against time taught us to be water. He showed us that rigidity is death and flexibility is life. Whether he was fighting racism in Hollywood or fighting a cobra on set, he never stopped flowing. He proved that the curse wasn't a monster hunting him. The curse was just the friction of the world trying to stop a man who was moving faster than his time. To the fighters watching this video, and I don't mean the ones in the ring, I mean the ones fighting anxiety, fighting poverty, fighting rejection. Bruce Lee left a quote that is often misquoted, but the essence is this: do not pray for an easy life. Pray for the strength to endure a difficult one. You might feel small right now. You might feel like a hidden child, disguised to hide from the world. Bruce is whispering to you right now. He is telling you to take off the disguise. Use your anger. Use your frustration. But don't let it control you. Channel it. Like water crashing through a dam. Let your obstacles become your power source. You don't need to be famous to be a dragon. You just need to be honest. Honest about who you are. Honest about what you want. And honest enough to express it without fear. The only true curse in life is the fear of being yourself. Now, I turn the dojo over to you. Do you think Bruce Lee died because of a medical accident? Or was it the price of pushing the human body too far? And how has his philosophy of Jeet Kune Do applied to your own life? I want to read your wisdom in the comments below. Let's keep the spirit of the dragon alive in our conversation. If this journey into the mind of the dragon moved you, please hit that like button with a 1-inch punch. It helps us break through the algorithm. And if you love stories about fighters who shook up the world, you simply must watch our next episode on Muhammad Ali. He was the Bruce Lee of boxing, a poet, a rebel, and a man who sacrificed everything for his beliefs. Click right here to enter the ring. I'm Peter. Be water, my friends. I'll see you in the next chapter of history.